Joanna, tell us a little bit about Scope 3. It's an interesting mission, bringing a better planet, bringing a better future for our industry, I would say at this point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Scope 3 is a company that's mission is to decarbonize media and advertising. And so we work with the entire ecosystem with brands, agencies, publishers, ad tech partners to help them measure and reduce carbon emissions. And the great thing is that by looking at carbon emissions in campaigns and understanding, where some of the inefficiencies might be, it's also helping to drive better campaign performance. And oh, by the way, we're also reducing carbon emissions as well. So it's been a nice business outcome as well as overall driving outcomes for the planet.
What are some of the places, what are some of the hidden carbon impacts of a campaign? Is it production costs? Is it putting up new paper on billboards? What are the things that you measure?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And it's one of those things where I did not have a lot of familiarity of carbon emissions in digital before even joining Scope 3. And I've been doing this many decades. But to your point, a lot of where the carbon emissions are coming from is largely based on digital advertising and getting an ad rendered on a publisher's website based on the amount of suppliers, different ad tech partners that they may be using with, specifically in programmatic to render an ad. There's servers that are spinning with every bid request. So the more partners in a publisher supply chain, the more times those servers get engaged. They're, drawing extra heat, electricity, water. And that's a huge part in where we're helping to again, help with finding a more straight away supply chain and identifying those for different publishers, brands, and partners.
Where would be a starting point if a brand organization wanted to explore how they can be more sustainable in their operations?
Yeah, one of the key ways is to just know where you're at. So I think it's important to establish benchmarks. So each brand is going to be different. Each brand is going to be on their path to sustainability in a different way, depending on what their colleagues are doing within the ESG teams. So I always recommend just starting to understand where are your digital campaigns today, and then starting to make improvements to, reduce carbon emissions over time is a great way to start.
One of the things that I've heard about programmatic advertising in particular is the amount of times you're paying for an ad that nobody's actually seeing. It's way below the fold or on a page that doesn't have real traffic. So you mentioned that by focusing on a more responsible approach to advertising, you're actually improving people's results. Can you just unpack that a little bit? What could a marketer look forward to by taking that approach?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And one of the key areas is by removing, and we have different reduction solutions. So things like green media products, which are doing just that. It's curated greener inventory that cuts out a lot of the higher carbon emitting publishers. It also eliminates things like MFAs and other lower value inventory they might not want to buy. So that's a great way to help with distilling down through partners that they may already be buying today, like inventory that they know and love, but do so in a greener way. And that's helping to, again, cut out a lot of that waste, and then in turn, driving more efficiencies as it pertains to cost. Different metrics can improve things like viewability. So making sure that, we have solutions that are getting at the placement level ID standpoint so that it is in view and you're not wasting dollars. So a lot of that goes into the way our data gets utilized to be able to bring more performant media to the surface, and also with reducing carbon emissions.
Yeah, cool. That's really neat.
One of the conversations we're having with our community is what it takes to win the future. And our theme for our summit this year is winning the future together. So when I share that, I'm curious for you, what are the conversations you're having inside your organization about winning the future?
Yeah, I think winning the future means collaboration. So it's not going to be one single side of the equation that's going to help drive things forward. We really need everybody. That's inclusive of brands, agencies, the publishers, the ad tech partners to really go all in, because that's the only way we're going to make collective systemic reduction, as well as helping to continue to prove that you can be sustainable, you can drive business results, and you can continue to do good with purpose.
Yes.
Awesome.
And get to quality inventory and reaching your customers.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Final question.
Yep.
what is one bold move that you or your team or your company is making this year?
Bold move. We've got a lot of new announcements coming out at our big landscape event, which is taking place next week, as a matter of fact.
Amazing.
So, our company has really been a category creator when it comes to sustainability and advertising. And we're taking that many steps further to help with, again, bridging the story of driving, better quality, helping with the performance angle, and just rethinking the way that you can buy digital, as opposed to maybe some of the legacy ways of working.
Awesome.
Amazing.
So cool.
So cool. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Joanna.
Yeah.